performing group.
Ish.
Adventurers.
One mental
It's a
health
cover.
break, and they expose our entire secret.
Yeah. See what happens when you're not around, Chad.
It's like pushing birds out the nest, and it turns out they could not fly.
The nest was on a cliff.
We're still
Too
following.
much.
We didn't have the guardrails up anymore, man.
I didn't have the bumpers
I-
for the bowling alley.
I don't remember what the last session you attended was. Like, what was the last thing that happened?
I think it was like right before we.
That was the session before what's his face got attacked by
Yeah, so it was right
Okay.
before we actually like dropped everything to
We
the
basically-
school.
just learned about the detect magic thing. Seeing tentacles. You know. Yeah, it was basically right before you guys left.
Oh man. Yeah, so
Yes.
Quent was attacked and died.
And Elle was the bad guy, and we told her everything.
Mhm.
I told her everything.
Also,
Well,
the
it was a group effort.
the weird creature bug thing that Gale saw, we finally know is a mage slayer or mage hunter.
Mage Hunter.
Mage Hunter.
Hunter. And apparently they can talk because what was it? Was it Phineas that heard?
I think there were two of you guys. I
Phineas and Kellen.
thought. Yeah, Phineas and Kellen.
Hell, that was yeah.
Because it
So
was in
they-
Undercommon, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, Undercommon.
Yeah, so those things can speak Undercommon, and they were saying stuff to Elle.
Gossipy bitches.
I don't know, very clearly working together. I don't remember exactly what was said.
Does it? It just it was the L's a lying bitch, and she's gonna.
Well,
die.
they wouldn't say that to her.
They said stuff like,
What'd you
Agent
find out?
L, what
You're
are
a
you
lying
doing?
bitch.
Attack them, you lying bitch.
You
What does he
stupid
do?
bitch.
Just tacky and your hair's fried.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
Brett had a brief mental breakdown. Then eventually came back. And
He went-
Quent was
he went on
somehow
a-
fine.
He went on a really long run.
Just a run, you guys.
Forrest Gump moment.
It was
3
like
years
a
later, he's just like
3
running
hour-
and then running.
3-hour dead sprint, 4-hour dead sprint, something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt over here.
I learned how to fly.
Like metaphorically, or
No, like I know how to fly.
Hmm.
For 60 feet, I can only go 60 feet.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
It's like Superman, you know. in
I feel like that's
teenage
just a
years.
long jump.
He does. You do a slingshot with the tentacles. You like slingshot yourself off some trees or something.
Yeah. During that attack, though, with the mage hunters,
Mhm.
Matt tried to pull some sneaky shit and wanted to try and make us think that, like, because they could disappear, right? You know, they can go invisible. So he was gonna have us fight it, and then it was gonna like go invisible and run away, and then we'd run into another one,
Hmm.
and it'd be like, "What? Why is it healed?" But somehow I got lucky, and trying to get attention, I threw Shatter out like 60 feet in the distance, and it hit the second one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she used Shatter like right by the door where the mage hunter was basically waiting invisible, and popped it. It was pretty
and then
sick.
Phineas did this crazy sick combo that almost killed one of them like immediately.
Uh-huh.
Marius actually got kind of close to dying. You got real low.
He is a natural performer. Gotta keep the suspense.
But
Also, I don't like you guys joke about clipping my wings and then almost have me die. I think maybe I should have just stayed at the school.
no,
I'd
that
been
happened at the
safer.
school.
Oh, you guys are sick.
That
Well,
happened in
before we left
our
the school.
changing room before the match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
we were
even
gonna
to
get
the
new
match.
uniforms.
Yeah, we
It
didn't
was
get
right
to see
before we
them.
were gonna go into one of our big matches, and we were gonna wreck some shit.
And then we walk into the room and Gale sees Quint on the fucking ground, dead.
Dead,
And we
dead, or
did-
just kind of like.
Dead.
Nah, he was like dead, dude.
Brett
We-
got over to him like as soon as he could and healed him, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, he was like dead.
But somehow the medics brought him back. We're all very, very unsure as to how, because they were like, he should be dead.
And I mean, to be fair, when they showed up on the scene, I think someone was there and they overheard that they did detect like remnants of life still.
Oh yeah, right at the end. Brett had already run off to try to catch the mage
Uh-huh.
hunters, which were fleeing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first responders in the room had said they noticed life.
Yeah, I think because it was Gale and Marius and Phineas that stayed back, right?
That sounds right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Marius was like beat the fuck up, so he was like, "Oh
I think it was-
god."
I think Finn ran after you guys too.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
just Gale and Marius.
That's right.
Thoughts and prayers, get him, guys.
Part of it was because Marius was one of the few
Yeah,
people
you
that
were
actually
already-
had some healing.
Well, and you were already pretty messed
Yeah.
up too.
I'm fragile.
I mean, and I'll also comment they were definitely fighting like they were very familiar with your guys' tactics.
Yup.
Yeah, they refused to engage with Brett or Phineas.
Mhm.
Yeah, they literally
targeted
went
everyone
straight
else.
for Marius. Like, it was rough.
Yes.
Excuse me.
The team captain and strongest
yeah,
the group makes sense. Good for the
The
flying
icon.
leadership. I have haters everywhere.
All them performances.
Yeah, Elle managed
don't
to
understand
teleport
your
away.
Prowess.
The mage hunters got out.
Well, they got invisible. They went invisible, and we lost them in the crowd because they went out the door, and we. Like,
Brett
chased
rolled a
after
nat
'em.
1 for
Yeah.
his chase.
Yeah, and my perception was also fucking terrible. And then we couldn't find Elle, and ugh, I hate that lady.
So Dean came in and was like, okay, well, there's a curfew, like, you guys need to go back to your dorms and lock down. And then as soon as that Dean left,
And we told them everything too.
of course.
I'm trying to remember her name, but I know it was the Dean of Lorehold.
Yeah, it was Dean Tullis, the Dean of Order.
Tullis.
Tell us more lies. Like,
The Dean of Order sounds like somebody you could trust, to be fair.
Yeah, like and then we leave
They were
school and
nice.
turns out, oh no, they told a bunch of lies about us. They spun the whole thing around to make it seem like we caused it.
yeah, after Dean Tollus left, Onyx appeared and was like, oh my god, you guys, this shit's fucked. I'm out of here. See you later. Eventually, maybe. Then,
Well, she wasn't just leaving. She was like, I can't do what I need to solve this at school.
yeah, she was like, I need to go hunt down this group because they've got too much influence here. And
I feel like it was
Strixhaven was going into lockdown. So, like, it was either leave or stay, you know?
Fair.
Who was it that initiated exactly the
Kellen.
let's go?
Trust
Kellen.
me.
Yeah, I was like, I know it wasn't Gale. I was the last.
Since we have Chad here, I had it like the minute that happened. I was like, Marius is going no matter what, and I told all of them that at the end. I was like, the only person I thought was going was Marius, because Marius was like 100% Team Onyx, If she was like, I'm leaving, he would have
Yeah.
been like, can I come? Like, let me help.
Can I go? Let's do this. Clearly,
I
I'm the
kinda-
only
I
person
kinda
with good
saw-
judgment.
I thought that's like what you wanted was for Marius to go, and then we would stay, and then that would give Chad some time to handle things and not have to play. But then Kellen's all like, "Nah, I'm going with you."
It doesn't make sense to stay, and I didn't want to go home.
I do want to go home. I want to go back to the swamp.
Don't
Can't
take me
make
back to the swamp, Pop.
Wipes tear a tentacle. Oh my god.
And when phrased as "there is nothing to be done here, the enemy must be fought elsewhere," Brett isn't gonna be like, "Oh, bet I'll just wait here." So
Good, I got a degree to finish.
it was like, those assholes killed my boyfriend. I can't just sit around.
Temporarily.
And so inevitably Gil was like, oh, well, everybody else is going, so I guess I can't just, like, stay here?
But I hang out with everyone.
Yeah. Don't talk to anybody else besides this group. Oh
It-
God.
It was Gail's immediate fear of FOMO that she was like, I have to come though.
What am I gonna do? Hang out with Grayson?
It's like when everybody's like, oh, there's a scary noise, I'm gonna check it out. And they're like, I'm not doing that. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, oh, I don't want to be by myself.
I mean, it's reasonable, to be honest.
I think I figured out what's really between Gale and Grayson. I think Gale had a crush on him when they were like young, and then somebody told Grayson, and then like he told her, and then she's ever since been complete 180, just like, no, fuck you.
Sorry, it turns out I only like married teachers.
I also have a bit of a disguise kink, so I don't know where that stemmed from. I don't know what
I
that's
don't know what
about.
happened there.
Haven't unpacked that one yet. Just been sort of rolling with the punches.
I'm finding myself in college.
That's hilarious. Yeah, fucking everyone was like, well, we're going. And Matt was like, roll me persuasion. So like everyone killed it, I'm pretty sure. And so Onyx was like, I guess this is what we gotta do.
All right, bet.
And then everyone went and packed their things, and they all left through the Quandrix, like northern coastline, basically. And yeah, Onyx like had contacted this group to man a spell jamming vessel short notice to come basically pick you guys up, because well, she's a planeswalker, she can't bring you guys, unfortunately. Yeah, you guys set off from there. That was like that whole session. It was a very, very taxing session. We were all fucking zapped by because that was all one
Oh my
session.
God.
The attack and fleeing and everything was one session.
And we were left with the impression that Quentin was dead for the first like hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, Matt
Yes.
really just like rammed a fucking dagger into Bryce's poor little heart there for a minute.
Yeah, like literally first move of that combat was Brett running up, taking an opportunity attack so that he could get to Quint to heal him, and then it doesn't work. And immediately Bryce just went quiet, and it was like, it's like, oh
Jumps off
God.
Discord.
I was talking about it the other day, and it's obviously a scenario I've never had to been put in, where we're all in a very like high emotion state, and I just have to be like, okay, it's their turn. Do they attack you?
It was like, seriously, I felt like 3 minutes of just silence after you were
Yeah,
like, the
dude.
heal doesn't work. It was just,
Because even I was just like, I guess we keep going now.
I had
It's
to
like
mute
Hunger
because
Games.
I was like crying a lot and like making a lot of like disgusting like tissue noises. So
Oh, for sure. I mean, I
Shit,
Oh.
she's like, fuck you, man.
we were
fuck
all
you."
choking up to some extent. Like, God, it was
be like,
rough.
it gets up.
Oh, it was rough.
It's good though. I was exhausted. Slept
Yes.
so well.
Right.
Also, Onyx's name is actually Liliana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain
Liliana
Professor.
Vess?
Yeah, we call her
Um,
Captain Professor, which she is neither nor.
Yeah, she's no longer a professor, and we have a captain of the ship, and it's not her, so.
Not a fan.
Yeah, Liliana Vess, the planeswalker.
Use bathroom.
We learned a lot about her history. I don't know.
It was
I
Gale.
don't know if you've been.
Gale was like killing it with history checks. And she had heard of like the Gatewatch. She had heard of legends of Liliana Vess and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, she was like this crazy ass necromancer or something.
Yeah,
It was
she
like an adventure.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was a incredibly powerful necromancer that was said to be pretty evil and pretty terrible until joining the Gatewatch and helping them defeat the Nephyrexian like incursions, basically the swarm.
Okay, so no.
Yeah, and then she was kind of like vague about why she like changed her identity and stuff, and we didn't like ask too many questions about it.
We're like, someone told us we get to fight the bad guys, so we're not gonna look this good for us now.
We're not gonna ask
How
too
do we
many
get
more
off campus?
questions.
Yeah, you like used to be evil. You don't seem too evil now. I mean, like we've only just barely been burned before, but yeah, we're gonna go with you.
Still in the ICU, but
Mhm.
don't really have time to think about this. It's true, we were very pressed for time.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was literally like the attack happened, and like 6.5-ish hours later, you guys were like leaving Quandrix campus, basically.
That's not our first scrap on Strixhaven, okay? We ain't cowards, right? We're on a mission.
Tactical retreat is not defeat.
Oh, but our first scrap outside of Strixhaven, Kellen died
Yeah.
You
Oh my God.
fell, yeah.
for a brief second.
All these temporary deaths.
Well, no. That wasn't the first attack. Or wait.
That was the
was-
first one.
The
Wait,
first
did you-
one
did you
was
fall
in
at the end?
Brinshire.
Oh yeah, no, and in Rensure he was fine.
Yeah, okay.
He had the weird dream with his brother.
Are you talking about
Yeah,
the
so we-
Hydra?
Touch tentacles.
Yeah, the Hydra.
with
Yeah, the
with
Hydra.
Umric.
Umric.
That was
But
scary.
Our first stop was just kind of like a little podunk town. We stopped in the inn.
We did
And
shopping.
Yeah,
Everything's
we
so
did a little bit of
expensive.
shopping.
Marius, you wouldn't
and-
believe this. Everything is so expensive outside of Strixhaven.
But we were attacked
Wow.
in
what were
in
you
our rooms.
buying?
We were just looking at shit, dude. I think we ended up buying healing potions because that was like all that
Yeah.
we really had the money for.
I think that's when I traded one of my the medallion that I had for a bit of a deal.
Oh, and some bacon. We got some basic ass cloaks too for a day.
Nah, you guys had those
Yeah.
for a while, to be fair.
Oh yeah, no, a couple weeks I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since those sessions, or in
'Cause-
between those.
Because you guys had the Grumlet, the dwarven capital you guys went to, that was in that volcano, that dormant volcano. That was stop number
Yeah.
3. So you had 2 other cities you had been to before then. So it's probably like, I think it's like 2-ish weeks of travel at that point, roughly, give or take.
And so far, we haven't been attacked again while sitting and like. in
Yeah, but
between,
we've also
you know.
pretty much been staying on the ship at all times.
Yeah.
Because that night where we checked out that city and like stayed in an inn, we got attacked in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we got attacked by
then-
these like, ghost ass things. The
So
rice.
They were like whites or rights.
Yeah, they were
wraiths?
whites. They were
You
these
were attacked by the
chaos
whites.
Yeah, we were attacked by the whites.
like these
no.
weird, like undead,
That's so
fucking,
like-
but like weirdly, like, I don't know,
Some-
chaos driven. They're clearly magic.
Yeah, it was like
powered.
someone noticed they had like chaos energy on them.
El
Yeah, I
sent
think-
them. El sent them. We don't.
yeah.
We don't know.
But yeah,
that.
they just appeared in our rooms, like no sign of like forced entry or anything. Not really sure how it happened, but
If you just
Yeah,
had
we fought-
dated Elle, it probably would have solved all of this.
right.
It sounds like she's attacking you and not us.
You should have been more suspicious when she disappeared from chess club, Chance.
You just didn't want to play chess.
Yeah.
Now the world's in jeopardy. Maybe you should go back to your swamp. Oh,
Yeah, we had
so
to-
ignorant.
We had to pay a bit of gold for Kellen roughing up his room. He was trying to slam the white through the fucking walls.
My psionic powers have grown. Were you? We found out that I have a spark. I don't know. Were you here for that?
think he was.
Chance, I've always thought you had a spark.
Thought we always had a spark. You meant.
I don't remember you having a spark.
Yeah, we found out that I have a spark. I have the potential to unlock it, but we don't know if I ever will or not.
Oh yeah, when we rolled.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
when we were
okay, you
passing
here
the
for that.
stone around.
Yeah, okay, you were here for that. Okay.
Yeah, I
and
was like, I
so-
thought he was here for that.
And then so after the whites attacked us, we traveled around for a couple days, and then we ended up in this mining town.
From there, you guys went to Faradorn, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull. I guess I could pull up the little travel list. I'm looking at roll 20 here.
After the attack, we let Professor Captain Onyx know that what had happened, and she was like, "Okay, we should probably stay on the move because I think they're tracking us." And we decided that we needed to get
Oh yeah, we're getting tattoos.
to resort to anti-tracking measures, and we've all elected for the option of inked tattoos with the spell to keep them from detecting us personally. So we're going around collecting components and money for components while trying to avoid being tracked.
Which is where the circus show idea or circus performers kind of came in.
Mhm.
And
Street performing.
Gail made some masks for us, although Kellen didn't want to wear his at first.
Because you wanted to use your own mask? You suddenly
No, he had just he had just
QAnon on us?
started. No, he started going anti-mask, but it was because he like it was his
controlling.
moniker. No, it was his
Yeah.
moniker. Like everybody knew
Yeah.
him because of the mask, and so he's been trying to lay low and shit.
It was too identifying
I
of a
can't-
feature.
He's like, I can't wear a mask. People might recognize me.
Yeah.
People that are looking for us might marry us.
But we
I'll
did
probably get
make
caught. I'm just
we
naturally
did have
dead.
a couple good performances where we got like over 100 gold. Like
Yeah, because
Mhm.
we became traveling circus performers, and we were trying to earn. And
but
so
I
you
think
were playing the lute for us. You were playing our
Yeah.
music. You and Aelity, because now Aelity's here. We don't know what happened to Phineas. He's just like not here all of a sudden. But
oh
Aelity's
yeah,
here.
I think that was right when we left with Onyx. Aelity literally just like took over, and Phineas has just been kind of AFK.
Yeah, we haven't seen Phineas since.
Well, he got a little wild, so maybe that's just for the best. We're a little more stable of a group now.
Need some R&R.
It is interesting having just Aelity.
What do you mean just?
Yeah, she's taking up the
Yep,
drum.
it's just me and Aelody.
She's taking up the drums. You guys were performing in taverns while we were doing our first little adventure.
Mm-hmm. Your guys's course was you stopped in Faradorn, the city of purpose first, and then you made your way to Heavenfell, the city of yonder, which I believe I'll have to double check, but I think it's Aelides and Phineas's hometown.
Oh,
And then you
they did not
guys,
mention that.
yeah, I figured maybe me and Benny would do like a little like one-on-one session with like what Aelide got up to, if anything there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And maybe have their own little like side adventure, going to reconnect with father, or I don't know, something if he wants. But yeah, so Heavenfell was the second stop, and then Grumlet was the third stop, and that was basically our second session. Was kind of like going from Faradorn to Heavenfell, just doing some skill checks to see what money you guys got, and Liliana doing the one like, or being the shopper, picking up components. And then we got to Grumlet, and we
I
had
gave her so much of me.
we had a Elder Fosnot there. He had a little guest spot, a little cameo.
Umric.
Umric Redrock.
You said Elder Fazon, my brain flashed to like missionary.
Uh,
I
Yeah.
think you just meant older.
No, I was going for kind of both. The
Brother.
dual meaning.
Oh, okay.
Double entendre.
Double entendre. Invoke that dormant Mormon memory.
It's like,
Yeah, you made me picture my dad.
You're welcome.
I am
There
here
you
for Theater of the Mind. So.
Unpack that one for a minute.
You have your own stuff to handle.
also made a new
Yeah, he had-
character, very impatient character. It's quite funny.
Mm-hmm.
He had a job posting on the board that seemed to be there for a while, so either nobody was able to get it done or nobody wanted to do it.
And it paid 125 gold apiece.
If we found what he was looking for.
And he was very impatient because we kept finding a lot of shit.
It's just like, all right, let's keep moving. Let's go deeper. It's like we found 3 chests by this point. What do you mean?
Like, yeah, people know that you've been here and that there's shit here, man. Like, and then and Kellen found a ring, and
Oh,
now
well,
he,
we need to get to before you found the ring. We need to get to the area, like, because that alone, the vivid descriptions Matt was giving was making my skin crawl.
Yes.
So we like went into this cave area, and then eventually came across this like, I guess like weird like crack in the wall with like a hole of like water or something. How
It was-
exactly was the entrance? I was more focused on the inside once we got underwater.
it was like the tunnel was essentially descending into water. Basically, it was like
That's
the picture.
Yeah, so luckily with us having Kellen on our team, he just was like, "Hey, I'll go check it out." And he goes down in, and it's split off into like 2 paths, like left and right. Did you go down the left first, and then
yeah,
that's...
I went down the left one first, and that's where I found the room. And then okay, so we know that the room's there. Let's go see what's down the right one.
Yeah, the left side opened up to like a big room with air and stuff. So, and light. There was a light source.
Mm-hmm.
And then the right path. Ugh, the right path.
Choose the right.
Well, he did. So Kellen went down the right path and like followed it down for like 30 minutes, but it was nothing but water.
Find
And like
CGI.
tight spaces.
Uh-huh. Like it started
there-
getting really
Didn't you have to make some checks to pass through a couple spots?
yeah, because it
Uh-huh.
started getting just a little tight.
Ugh. Ugh.
So eventually, after like going for like 30 minutes, Cullen's like, okay, there's no way that anybody's gonna make it down here other than me. So
Even if there is something at the end of it, which we
Uh-huh.
never really found.
But that's the side that he found the ring on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
found
it.
in one of the little tiny
the-
chambers you found there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like there was still a opening further, and he's like, "Hey, I think you almost win, but we're like, chance, please."
But so we brought the ring back, and somebody, was it Gale?
Yeah, I had
Gale.
left identify on because Gale was trying to figure out if there was any like tracking spells on any of our shit.
Yeah, so she used her primer and did identify on it and found that there was a soul in there.
Yeah, it's a ring of mind shielding, and the thing with that ring is if you wear it when you die, then your soul gets put into the ring.
And then so somebody put the ring on and this voice started talking to them in this
It
language.
was Umric.
Yeah,
Oh,
in this
yeah.
language that he couldn't understand. And so then we all started trying the ring on to see if we could understand it.
No,
And-
it was immediately Kellen next, right?
No, because
It was Brett, and
Brett.
he repeated what it was saying in a perfect
Oh.
replication.
Right.
And Gale could pick out parts of it, but Kellen could understand it because he understood Sylvan and something else,
Elvin,
and Elvin.
but it was but also like it was like old
Yeah, it was
old
he was
Sylvan and Elvin.
yeah, he was speaking weird, like very Shakespearean. And then so we were trying to talk to him, and he started talking about Umric, and then he took over my body.
Tried to
And
kill
I was like,
Umar.
"What the fuck, bro?"
Yeah, he made Kellen like swing once, but then I think you saved the next time and were able to like stop it. We got the ring off you.
Yeah. And then so we were like, maybe we shouldn't fuck around with this. Because the reason why we put it on is we came up to, we started going into the cave a little bit more. We go underwater and stuff and get into the place with the room, and we go into the room, and it's like part of this temple. And we start going into the temple, and it like starts splitting off.
Which like there are these weird like sun orbs everywhere and plants growing underneath this area, and like it's randomly flooded in spots. It was eerily pretty.
But so like we get to this fork in the road, and we were like, well, fuck. And so we put
Literally first fork in the road, we're like, so do we use the ring?
And Umar's like, sure.
We should probably use the ring, huh, guys?
Yeah, that's when that mess happened.
Yeah,
when
so that's when all that stupid shit happened, and then we started exploring the cave a little more. We went left, and we started finding all these chests that were like kind of like lodged in the sides of these like riverbeds and stuff that were in this temple all over the place.
Gems and potions and magical
Capes.
cloaks.
And yeah, magical wet cloaks.
Was the first one potions? Or was oh wait no, that was the last one. What was the first one?
It was the soggy cloaks.
Bunch of wet cloaks.
That was the first one?
Yeah,
think
that was the
so.
very first one we found.
What was the second one then?
The second one was the. Let me see here.
Because I know the first two were 7 each. We got 7 cloaks and then 7 something else.
7 rings to the dwarves.
It was a chest full of different variation gems and shit. So it had like the,
diamonds. And
the diamonds and the agates and all of that stuff, and the
Oh yeah.
spears and shit. that were all worth the buku monies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Umric was like, because when we found the soggy cloaks, he was
Nah.
like, "Oh yeah, I don't care about those." And then as soon as we
Need to
started
find more
finding like
stuff.
other shit, he was like, "Oh,
All this stuff
I'm gonna hold
belongs
on
to
to
me, by
these."
the way.
Yeah, let me hold on to all this. But part of those gems was diamonds, which
Mhm.
is something that Liliana said we needed for our spells.
Mhm.
So Gale was very much like, we need those fucking diamonds.
But yeah, so we found that, and then we found some weird potions and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And
cheesecake.
then we like came across this like tomb or whatever. It looks
Mhm.
like a tomb, and
Sarcophagus.
yeah, and all the, like somebody did some magical reading on it and like found some magical sources coming out of there, and so we all got like way like freaked the fucked out. But Umric
Yeah,
was
like
like, "We should go open it."
I couldn't actually like really get a reading from the magic in it because it was almost as if like it should have been inside like a lead box or something that should be protecting the magic from being seen. But whatever two different things were inside of there are so powerful that it's like leaking outside of the container.
Mhm. Our magical Geiger meters were going off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we could tell that like you need 4 spots to stand on it to open it. Well, I guess that was after we got attacked by the Hydra.
Yeah, we got attacked by a fucking Hydra, dude.
Yeah, as we got up close to it, a vine came out of the fucking water and just.
Yeah, and it was like a
Plant.
plant one.
Yeah, it was a floral
rose?
hydra.
Floral Hydra. I don't know why I thought rose specifically.
I mean, it had like kind of like rose heads in a way. Like each head almost had like a ring of petals around its head.
Luckily, though, Gale, as well as Brett, knows fire magic. We already knew Brett knew fire magic, but Gale knows it now a little bit.
I'm gonna go ahead and find a new group to travel with.
But yeah, so that thing
Yeah.
fucking just like slammed fucking Kellen down.
Uh-huh.
Just like fucking just murder balled him straight in the face.
Yeah.
Gale blames herself because she hid after that first attack.
Can you blame
It's
her,
better
though?
than both of you going down.
Yes, I can blame. Query. We needed you.
She was there. She got the killing blow.
She was glass cannoning, okay? Requires
I was
She
live
took-
tweeting. The world needs to know what's happening.
She did
delicate
take a
hand.
hit before she hid, okay?
All right, Gail, you take 2 damage.
Is this what pain feels like?
Is this what? I don't think I can buy my way out of this pain.
Who do I give money to take this pain away from me?
Bought a new cloak and I don't feel any better.
So we managed to defeat it, and then we're debating whether we should open the sarcophagus and find out what the stuff inside is. And then someone decides to put on the ring.
Yeah, it was Kellen. I know that.
But we tied me up first.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, we
took
did.
precautions.
We couldn't attack anyone again. We tried to talk down the soul inside the ring, because it kept trying to attack.
Well, because we wanted to find out what was inside the fucking box.
Yeah, we wanted to ask it about what was going on, but we needed to talk it down too.
I'm really curious about who this soul is.
His name's Vors.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's pretty chill now.
Cool guy, I guess. Him and Callan talked it out.
He's a furbolg, I found out.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that. That's why it was Sylvan and Elven.
Hmm. So he was part of like this like temple watch like people the worshipped this person named it starts with a K.
Crimea.
Crimea.
Yeah,
Father of
that's it.
Undertides and the Everswell.
Ooh.
But they had like an alliance with the dwarves, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then the who was it that attacked? Was it Mind Flayers?
The Illithid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Illithid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Illithid attacked. And the dwarves did nothing. Even though they were supposed to help. And that's why Vors kept attacking Umric, because he just saw a dwarf and got angry.
He also didn't realize how much time had passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had no idea really. It took him a while to even remember his name, because he was like,
Yeah.
nobody's asked me that in so long.
But yeah, so we talked it out. He told me that we couldn't take what was inside of the box. Found out that it was some like
They're
mythical
like
shit.
artifacts of Crimea.
Yeah.
I don't think he exactly said what it was,
No, he just
like,
said that we
like
couldn't take
what
it.
they were, but
Nope.
they are Crimeas.
Yeah, he just said that we couldn't take it. That I couldn't take it.
Well, yeah. So
Well, I mean, he said
Kellen
we-
made a promise that he would not take it.
But notice how he left it open for the rest of y'all. Like, he was like, okay, I promise I won't take it.
After
there's-
getting back to the ship with our haul. Oh yeah, Umric gave us like almost everything. I think he kept some of the
He kept the
random.
spears.
He kept
Yeah,
the spheres, and then you guys also found another one of those chests filled with like almost like historical documents, like tomes and old legends
Yeah,
from the Lost Age.
yeah, he's keeping that.
And then yeah, so
He needs
instead of
his
paying
knowledge.
you guys, he was like, "Here you go, you can take everything." He did keep one of the cloaks, so you guys have 6 of them.
So we
Which
just
is
know
perfect for our group.
there's a magic artifact in the box, but we don't know what it is yet.
2 magic
Ew.
artifacts, most likely.
Can I just open the box? Or...
You
If
need
only-
4 people to open it.
And if only it
And
wasn't
you weren't
days
there.
away, days behind you guys now.
But
Sounds sketchy
but-
as fuck.
but Gail did tell Captain Professor about it, and she did seem interested.
She
Yeah,
did take note. She did take note.
After we had our little powwow, what would debrief?
Yeah.
After we debriefed back on the ship, Gail made sure Liliana knew, like, we probably need what's in there. So you should go back and get it at some point.
And yeah, that was the last session. And then like the backdrop of like, yeah, again, you guys have been, I think at that point had been a little over 2-ish weeks of travel. And it had been a lot of like training, because the group would find out that the 3 people that call this ship home, they refer to themselves as the Blades of the North. And they are all 3 pretty proficient like bladesmen, or like martial combatants. And so Liliana's been sort of like helping with like some spell work, doing essentially like training, and then with you guys doing a lot of like martial combat training, like everyone included, not just those that are already proficient.
Yeah, even Gail's using a sword during training.
Should Gale only doing fencing classes for sword work?
I thought about it. I thought about being a rapier girl, but I was like, no, her dad would want her to have a thick blade. Because her dad probably uses like a long sword.
Probably.
Like
Probably.
two-handed broadsword.
But he understands her limits, so he's like short sword for you.
Should have been his boy.